Okay, we're live, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Race Talk America podcast number 7 from the Big Suite right here at the legendary Fairground Speedways. And I'll tell you what, we had one wonderful race this past Saturday night. Close to 9,000 people in the grandstands. Great field of cars. Absolutely the biggest fan count that we've had all year long. Weather was beautiful. Car count was beautiful. We just had a fantastic night of racing. And of course, our special guest tonight is our very own 2-time Daytona 500 champion and the guy that's won 2 out of the last 3. Our very own Sterling Marlin is right here in the suite with us tonight, and we're going to talk about his win. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about the All-American 400. We're going to talk about what we got coming up next race, August 26th. And we're going to talk about our schedule. We're going to talk about what happened this past Saturday night. And I'll tell you what, it was one whale of a show. Sterling, first of all, congratulations for your win. I mean, great race. Looked like you never skipped a beat. It looked like Kyle Abbey might have had something for you right there at the end of the race. But as you did 2 races ago, it looked like you just started pulling off. Your car's got a phenomenal grip off a corner. I watch you coming off a 4 over here, and it just looks like that you're getting off the corners better than everybody right now.
It does. The car really drives good. It's kind of a freak deal. I'm in the car 2 years ago sitting in the man's shed with chicken crap all over it, and he gave it to me. But we cleaned it up, put together. It's a Port City car, and just really, since the first test election, drove really good. So led about every race I've been in with it, but really drives. It runs a good, got a good motor in it. The whole combination works good.
The old silver car, and I know you've got a bunch of race cars, and it's kind of what you do for kind of like a hobby, a pastime. You probably make a little extra bucks on it, maybe support your racing team with it, whatnot. But I know that you go out and you buy a lot of cars, and you go. Sometimes you go and you get a Wayne Day clip and you put on them, and you take them and strip them down, have them repowder coated, add a bar or 2 here, and you got a boatload of parts and all that, and you've always had a liking to doing bodies and everything, even back in the days when we had to fabricate our own bodies and everything. But I think you're really good at hanging bodies, and I think you enjoy that, putting the bodies on. So you're always hanging the body and making these cars look real good. You run them a race or 2 or practice them, and then pass them along, sell them to guys, and then guys run them and do really well with them. But tell me about this old silver car you got. This car got a Wayne Day clip on it, or is it pretty much a...
This car, the one I've been winning with, I bought. This guy had 2 cars in Georgia. We'll look at it.
Okay, yeah, that was what was that fella's name?
Ho.
Yeah, David Ho.
Yeah,
David Ho.
Yeah. So we looked in 2
Is that
cars.
one of the David Ho cars?
Well, it was sitting down at the barn. He never showed it to you. And he won the Snowflake in 04, and got crashed in 05, tore everything off of it. And he said, "I'll give you that old car if you want it." And I went and looked at it, had the brakes on it, rims in it, seats in it, just some chicken.
Is that the one that had the reverse rear end deal?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be doggone. That turned out to be the best car out of the whole bunch.
Out of the bunch. So it real light and went together real good, and got a good motor in it. My house's motor's awesome. And
They really are. They really are.
It really runs good.
You guys have found a setup. You and Zach Harrison, and you guys pretty much do all your own stuff, and I give you a lot of credit for testing. You're always testing. You test and test and test and test and test. You know what you like. You know what you want to try. You know where you're going. You know which direction you're headed in, and you always seem to come out with a good setup. I think you would have won 3 in a row had the last race. I think you said you busted a left front shock,
Yeah.
and the car got down and started getting down a little bit too low. busted the bag or busted one of the plungers in the left front shock.
And
And what a lot of people don't know is the left front is probably, if not the most critical, close to the most critical wheel on the whole car, because your left front has to get down. The car has to transfer and has to pivot on the left front in order to have the corner speed like you want to. You got to keep the right rear up in the air, but the left front has to get down. And the ultimate deal on this is to get the car down as low as you can get it without scraping, without it bottoming out. Some guys will get them to the point where they bottom out and then just back up a car length or so early, you know, and so that's where they stay. But I know you were running real good in the race before last and busted a shock, and when that happened, it you know, I mean, it was just like a three-legged dog then, you know. It's, but this old car, you guys wrecked it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys wrecked it maybe out of town.
Went to Montgomery with some pole Montgomery.
Right.
And got crashed and hurt.
Got in a wreck, and Zach was pulling his hair out. He wanted to get a new clip put on it. And you got the porta power out, started jacking on it, and Zach and I had a conversation about it, and I said, Zach, he knows where he's going, he knows what he wants, and we came to the conclusion that it would either be worse than it was or better than it was, and it turned out it made it better. And I've seen that in the day, you know, have a car that would get wrecked, and you find something or you think it was ruined, and then all of a sudden, you know, it turns out to be a better race car. So, seems like that old car never gives up. We checked your motor. You passed all tech. We whistled you, so your compression was right. Actually, your compression was a little bit under. And then we cam doctored you. Your cam was right. You had to wait for the new style cam. All that was right and everything. So, passed post tech and all that. And you know, just a really good race. The crowd really loved it. I think it was good for you. It was good for the sport. It was good for the facility. But you know, for you to be 60 years old, and you've been doing this a long, long time, and I've been out of it a few years, and I got to tell you, you know, face to face, live right here on this camera, that you're inspiration for me to get back in a race car, because I think if you can still do it, I can still do it. So you know, you've retired from you know, from the professional league of racing, and came back to your roots where you're doing what you love to do. You love to work on them. You got your farm. You tend to that, and but you're doing what you love to do, and everyone knows without a doubt that that you're fighting Parkinson's right now, and I think that it has a lot to do with the way your medicine's regulated and whatnot, and but I tell you what, for a man that's 60 years old that has Parkinson's, you would never ever know it. You would never know that you skipped a beat driving a race car. I got to ask you this: when you're inside the car and you're racing, do you ever think about it? Does it ever affect you? Do you get? Does it seem like it handicapped you back to when you were 35, 40 years old? I mean, what is the difference now? Is it harder for you to hit your marks? Is it harder for you to concentrate?
If you miss medicine, like still a course of 2 hours, you're in good shape. But if you get 3 hours and you took medicine, you kind of get jumpy a little bit.
I've noticed that. I've noticed that I've noticed sometimes I'll see you and you look like you act like the same old guy that I've known all my life, and then sometimes, you know, like for instance Saturday night after the race was over, when we went down there toward the tech station, you seemed like you couldn't get comfortable. You couldn't get comfortable. And I told you, I said, sit down in my truck and get cooled off. And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Zach took you down there and you got your medicine and everything. When you came back, you were a different person. So you had told me, I think, a few weeks ago that sitting in the cockpit of your car, that you had discovered a way to just pull your foot on and off of the accelerator instead of moving your hip and your leg, and you actually seem like you found something that might help you get off the corners better. Tell me about
I
that.
really worked on the accelerator a lot. You gotta have a short throw on the accelerator. You can't have it come way back, so I can get my right foot all the way back. So it's real, when you go to gas, you're in the gas, because they ain't got that much throw on the accelerator when you mash it wide open. It almost, like in the gas race, it almost went out 2 or 3 times because it got too much gas.
So you feel like in finding this new method with a short stroke gas pedal and being able to coordinate your right foot on and off of the gas pedal, that's actually helped you get off the
I
corners.
think it has, yeah. Really, really. When you get the gas, you're in the gas.
Well, I tell you what, whatever you got, it's working. I don't believe I would. I don't believe I'd trade it out for too much.
I got another car, it's a little faster.
Well, and I heard you talking to some of the other guys, and for anybody that's looking for a good race car, I'm gonna tell you what, this guy right here is the guy to see. I bought one from him. I think he ran. I think he finished second in it 3 or 4 times, and we bought it. It's a real good car. Of course, we haven't had it out this year. We got tore up really bad last May. We got it fixed back. We did a little testing in it, whatnot. Had a few little things here and there to iron out. We've got a brand new Wayne Day chassis. It's a beautiful car that we're going to bring out and definitely run the next race. Michael House may help me test it a little bit, but we're going to get it right. And the goals are, right now for me, to drive that car myself in the All-American 400 this year. Now, we have been talking to some people that are going to come in here and help us with tech for the All-American 400 that's going to free me up. The gentleman that's doing the tech for the Southern Super Series division and also the Cars division, a gentleman by the name of David If, and talked to him on the phone a few times. He's about my age, guys in the mid-60s, early 60s. He former crew chief for Kel Yarber. You know him?
Big parts. I've known him a long time. Known him since 1975 probably.
Seems like a really, really nice guy. He said, Tony, I'll come in there, do your job for you, and do it the way you want it done. And bottom line, so
He's walking here to start finishing on his hands.
yeah, he's actually called me a few times. We've had a few conversations, and he's really excited about coming here for the All-American 400. And speaking of the All-American 400, we're going to start putting all the packages out for the All-American 400 this week. That's what we're working on from tomorrow forward. We've got all of our press releases underway. We're going to release the all of the information. We're going to be selling laps starting next Wednesday right here at the podcast show. We'll be selling laps for the Super Race and the Pro Late Model Race. So we're going to have one whale of a show. It's a 2-day show. It all starts September 30th and goes to October 1st. And that will definitely be one that you will not want to miss.
You run both the same day?
Huh?
Run both the same day?
Well, what we're going to do, we'll be running a quarter-mile show and everything on Saturday, and then we'll run our Pro Late Model on Sunday, and then we'll run right after the Pro Late Model. We'll run our Super Late Model on Sunday too. So the Pro Late Model and Super Late Model race will be run on Sunday, but the rest of the quarter-mile shows and the truck race and everything will be run on Saturday night. So we're going to really put a great price out there on a 2-day ticket. So everybody watch. You check us out at fairgroundspeedwaynashville.com, and you'll see all the entry list and whatnot. We're going to run all of our divisions, and of course at the All-American 400, we don't give trophies away. We give the traditional guitars away, and all that is done by War Inc. The great people out there at Willie Allen's do the guitars, and they're really beautiful. I never got to win a guitar in my days, but always wanted one, and I get to pay for a lot of them. And I tell you, winning a guitar is not like winning a trophy. Winning a guitar is just something about winning that traditional guitar that you can't win nowhere but right here in Music City, USA. It's a very traditional thing, and I know you've got several of them. Willie Allen's got several of them. A lot of guys got a lot of them, but I never did win one. So maybe one day I can win me one, and I've won everything but a guitar. So that's my goal. So let's talk about the points standings. I tell you what. First, let's go over the finishing order, and we'll start with the Big Machine Records Pro Late Model series. And as everyone knows, it was here Saturday night. Not only we have a great crowd, but Mr. Scott Borchetta himself was in the house, and I think Sterling, he got just as big a charge out of coming down there on the stage and presenting you with that guitar and all as you did winning it. So he's one of my old racing buddies, and he loves what he's doing. He loves the facility, and he loves to come here, and he loves to come down on the stage. He has as much passion for this facility probably as you and I both do. So it's made one whale of a difference, him coming on board and putting the money up where we can be, you guys can be eligible to win this kind of money. It's unheard of anywhere in the country.
I mean, the country,
Where can you go anywhere? I want to ask you this live right here in front of this camera. Where can you go anywhere in the United States of America and win $5,000 without even putting up an entry fee? It's unheard of, isn't it? So, I mean, and thanks to Scott Borchetta at Big Machine Records and Clayton and James, they have made this possible for us to do this. And the folks at NASCAR have even been paying close attention to it. Scott told me the other day that every time he sees Mike Hilton, Mike says, "Man, you guys are doing the right thing up there at Nashville. You really got a good deal going," and I'm so glad to have him on board with us here at the Fairground Speedways, and I think he's as excited, like I said, about being here as we are about having him here. In the Big Machine Pro Late Model Records, Pro Late Model, Sterling Marlin came out a winner, followed by Cal Abbey. Mark Day with a really strong third. Great run for Mark Day. It's been a long time since we've seen Mark in the top three. He's had a couple of good runs going here lately and just had some bad luck. The Bolden brothers, Daniel and Michael, rounded out the top five. Daniel Bolden in the 09 was fourth, and Michael Bolden in the number 9 was fifth. Followed by Chuck Spencer, Charles Spencer. Chuck Spencer almost got him a top five. He got him a 6th place. Casey Atwood rounding out the top 7, followed by Dalen Fetcho, Stacy Crane, Hal Musler, Preslin Boers, Christopher Tullis, William Hale, Casey Roderick. He must have had some type of problem. I don't know what happened to him, but Justin Ashburn, Joe Greff, followed by Austin Brawley, and then Corey Desler, Willie Allen, and Benny Hamlet round out the top 20. Looked like you led the most laps, and the pole went to Casey Roderick. Man, I tell you what. Let me tell you real quick about the points in the Big Machine Challenge Series Pro Late Model Division. Casey Roderick leads this deal with 276. Cal Ivy's right on his heels with 245, followed by none other than Sterling Marlin, 237, Daniel Bolin, 234, Justin Ashburn, 230, Dalen Fetcho, 229, William Hale, 226, Michael Bolden, 214. Now, if that's not the closest points battle that I've ever seen, the next 2 races are going to tell the story. I think this thing's going to get better as the day gets longer. So we'll roll on over to the Super Truck Division, and pretty good race in the Super Truck Division. Blake Williams in 17 came out the winner on that, followed by Chaz Chaffin, followed by number 87, John Burns. Big Al, Alan Carter, was fourth. Tanner Arms brought in the top 5 position, followed by Howard Tucker. Frank Barrett was seventh. James Shaw was 8th. Joshua Stevens was 9th. Jacob Blair was 10th. And Bobby Terry, of course, Bobby was had some problems in tech, and but Howard Tucker got the pole, and pretty good race there for the Clayton and James Whiskey Super Trucks. Guys, you guys can look for that division to get a lot better within the next couple of races as we head toward the All-American 400. I tell you what's going to happen. A lot of these guys are going to come in and start using the next race on August 26th. That will be more of a trial. We've had a lot of pro guys register, and they're going to come in here and be registering for the August 26th race. Use that as a shakedown run for the All-American 400. So you can look for that to happen. What a tight battle in the points on the Clayton and James Super Truck division. Chaz Chaffin is sitting on top with 329. Alan Carter, 278, followed by John Burns, 2 points behind him at 276. Tanner Arms at 245, followed by James Shaw, which is just 4 points behind him with 239. 6 points, I'm sorry. Frank Barrett, 223, tied with Alan Carter at 223. So we got a really, really good battle going in the Super Truck division. Chaz Chaffin has a pretty good lead on that. I would just about imagine, unless something happens to him, he probably would have the Clayton James Super Truck points wrapped up. And so let me move on over here to the Sportsman division, Bill Freeman Sportsman division. Whale of a race in that. None other than our very own Bobby Joe Rippey was in command in that race, and I gotta say, he's been snake bit for just about the entire year, but he finally got it all together this Saturday night. And once he jumped out front and got down on the inside groove, Bobby Joe was the man. And he was really tickled because I think it really meant a lot to him, because I saw one of his posts on Facebook. He said, not only did I win the race Saturday night, he said, but I beat one of the all-time greatest drivers I've ever competed against, and that was Alan Carter. And when you outrun Alan Carter, I gotta say Alan was probably a little bit off of his game. But when you beat Big Al, you beat the best, especially on that quarter-mile track. Now, he's good on the 5/8, but when you beat him on a quarter-mile track, you've done something. So, Bobby Joe Rippey, congratulations for your first win of the 2017 season. And Big Al, Alan Carter was second, followed by Matt Barnes. Willard Nelson was fourth, followed by Justin Doobie. Bruce Crabtree was sixth. Trey Faulkner was seventh. Darrell Quick was eighth. Billy Shaper was ninth, followed by Johnny Cox. And Pork Chop Dwayne Hudson rounded out the top 11 on that. Big Al, Alan Carter had the pole, by the way. And we're going to tell you about the points battle in the Bill Freeman Sportsman division. Alan Carter has a pretty good commanding lead on that. Alan Carter at 323, Matt Barnes at 293, Justin Davey at 266, Trey Faulkner at 244, and Bobby Joe Rippey at 239. So the top 5 in that division is very close. Moving on down to the Advanced Auto Parts Super Street, none other than our very own Jonathan Dishman. It's just 2 races for Jonathan. He's won the last 2, and Jonathan had never ran a lap on this track up until this year, and he'd always told me, man, I hate that track, that flat track. You just can't get off in the corners. It's hard to hit the marks. The ride's not enjoyable. I said, you just keep staying with it, and I think he really likes the track now. He's won 2 in a row. Jonathan Dishman came out the winner, followed by Kevin Rollins, Josh Hood was third, followed by Doc. Jim Jordan, Matt Barnes was running out the top fifth. Paul McCarthy was sixth. Carl Porter Jr. seventh. Sam McCord eighth. And Gary Bullock rounded out the top 10 on that. Josh Hood was one of your race leaders, and Kevin Rollins had the pole. We'll get on over here to the points battle on that. Calvin Rollins is 327, followed by Jonathan Dishman, Sam McCord at 242. Not that close of a points battle, but a good battle when you start going down through the field there. There's some really close points, positions, and whatnot in that. In the pure stock, let's see what happened in the pure stock right here. Always a really Curtis Day took the Lewis Country Store Pure Stock Division. Curtis Day was the winner, followed by Shane Brandy, and Tink Jackson rounded out the top three. Steve Barnes, followed by Willie Coates, Krista Travis, Cameron Choate, Charles Goddard, Charles Groves, Justin Parnert, Ricky McElwain, Michael Toth, Jerry Jones, and Mark Humboldt rounded out the top 15 on that. Tink Jackson had the pole. And pretty good points battle going right here. I'd say Steve Barnes at 289, Tink Jackson at 288, and Willie Coates at 278. So 9 points separate the top three slots on that. That deal right there is going to really get heated up, and it's going to be one whale of a battle within the next two races. You can look for that. So let's roll right on down here to the Pest Doctor front runners. Dustin Hamlet pulled off a win in that, followed by Travis Owen. Jeremy Burns was DQ'd, so that brought Philip McCord, Peyton Hamlet, Josh Harrell, Justin Newman, followed by Hardy Crouch, Joshua Graven, Stephen Collins, Ricky Calkins, Stephen Aki, Matt Hamlet, Paul Cummings, Tony Chambers, Michael Forsythe, Dewey White, and Dylan Hoover round out the top 20 on that. Dustin Hamlet had the pole, by the way, in that. Now, on the points battle, Dustin Hamlet leads with 306, followed by Philip McCord with 297. Travis Owen rounds out the top three with 274 right there. So we're almost there, y'all. In the Legends division, I didn't get to see that race, but I heard it was one whale of a race. Wayne Grubb came out the winner, followed by Hunter Wright. Adam Sturgill was in the number 49 was third, followed by Chris Wilson, Preston Young, Dean Travis, Brent Jacob, Adam Robinson, Jeff Young, Cal Smithson, Justin Maxwell, Grayson Pate, Cody Duke, and Oliver Cordell round out the top 15 on that. Wayne Grubb, by the way, did have the pole on that. Hunter Wright leads the points in the Legends division, followed by Grayson Pate with 256. Hunter Wright is 237, and Wayne Grubb at 245. Justin Maxwell is just 2 points behind him. Wayne Grubb is 247, Justin Maxwell 245, Preston Young 240, Dean Travis 234. So you got a really close points battle in the Dale Holmes Construction front runner division. In the next division here, which I didn't get to see that race either, but in the USA Motor Machine Pro Mods, Travis Arms came back and got him another win, followed by Ryan Arms, Eddie Taylor, Chris Brown, Dalen Jones, Michael Kelly, Rick Rowland, Chase Johnson, and Craig Bustick round out the top 10. Ryan Arms did have the pole on that. Chase Johnson leads the points. 11 years old, Chase Johnson, rookie and points leader, followed by Eddie Taylor. Travis Arms is 269. Chase Johnson is leading only by 6 over Eddie Taylor. Chase Johnson is 290. Eddie Taylor is 284. Travis Arms is 269. And that just about rounds it all out in the finishing and the point statistic. Sterling, we got some good points battles going on right now at the Fairground Speedways, as we have had for a long time. You know, the quarter-mile competition keeps heating up. As the weather heats up, so does the competition. But I think that there's going to be a lot more people that start coming in for the Pro Late Model division, getting ready for the All-American 400. You got anything up your sleeve for that?
I'm gonna try a old faithful old silver car, running it back to the other car. I think I was 1930. This other car it was real hot about a month ago. Drove real good.
And what car is this one?
It's I sold it to Jonathan Brown, and he ran it one race and wrecked it.
Oh, you bought that car back?
Bought it back from him, and
I remember that when he was qualifying,
yeah.
he lost it coming off a 4. Right rear quarter panel hit the wall, jerked the dry brake out of it, threw a bunch of gasoline. And we had a really fortunate deal that we got it put out in time. But yeah, that is a good car. You bought that car back?
Yeah, bought it back to run 1930 in a real hot day, and old tires, and drove. We carried to Missouri and qualified second. Had invert started 6th and drove to second. Ready to pass more for the lead, and the motor blew up. So it's got a Ford motor in it. It really run good too. So
that car's got a McGonigal Ford motor in it.
Yeah.
Now that's the car you took over to the Big Lake Mile race over at I-70?
I-44.
I-44. That's right. So you thinking about running that car?
We'll try to run it to see which one's better.
Why would you want to?
Won't be faster.
Yeah, well, I understand, but I tell you,
that silver car drives, so it just sits good. You know,
the thing I see about the silver car that I think is so good, Sterling, it seems to be so consistent.
Yeah,
it never backs up. Whatever it runs on the first lap, it runs the same thing on the last lap.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't agree with you on that, but I know you know what you're doing, and it takes a special car for you to get comfortable in the cockpit. I know not just the way the car performs, but the way the car feels to you means a lot too, does it not?
Yeah, I can run it 3 laps, put on stands, now we got a good car, and it's covered up. Come back and qualify tomorrow or whatever, but just hunt that feel. And
you guys don't have anything special on your car. You know, I've walked around, I've looked at your car. You know, you guys are testing. It doesn't look like that you run any kind of special shocks or anything that's high dollar or whatnot. You know, you seem to make a lot of the older stuff work. You know, what's the deal? I know in the early '80s that we went from big spring cars, you know, steel body cars. We went to the Grand American division, and that's when you and Mike Alexander were having your rivalry here. And everybody had the big old long nose, and the aero started coming in, the great big spoilers and whatnot. But they were also straight rail coilover cars,
yeah,
which was something that we weren't very close, we weren't very familiar with. But they were super light cars, and they were super fast cars.
Oh yeah.
And does the setups from back in those days relate in any shape, form, or fashion, other than you'd never want to run less wedge than you have left side weight? Do you believe in that theory? If you got 58, if your rule is 58% left side weight, you obviously want to get all the left side weight you can get. But I've heard some of the older, smarter guys that fool with straight rail cars, they've always said you never want to run less wedge than what you have left side weight. How true is that?
Close somewhat. You know, our stuff's probably 0.5%.
Within 0.5%.
0.5% of it. And,
so if you run 58%, I'm not asking you to tell me what you're running. Of course, I can look at my scales and find out anytime I want to. But if you run 58% left side weight, you need to run somewhere from 57 to 58% cross weight.
Yeah,
would that
yeah.
be about right?
You load your bar too.
And you load your bar. When you load your bar, that gives you a little bit more cross weight also.
So if you want it, yeah. When you back it off, close it up. I mean, I just last year I found some old shops that had in 1980, 81, and put them on the rear. And there's just fast anything had on the rear.
Just some old oil shocks. Huh?
The old shops and old Carreras.
Will they give up on the long run or?
And yet,
Wow.
still be.
Well, that's you've always had a rarity of finding stuff that worked back in the day that it will still work.
We
One
got soft on front springs now. I mean, you used to run like a 700 and 500 coil over the front.
Right.
It'd be about 1,400.
Right. Well, and when we ran Big Springs, we always ran like a 12 or a 1,400.
Right front, yeah.
You know, right front.
1,000 left front, 900 left front.
So, but with the suspension technology that we got now and the bump stops and all that, which a lot of it I don't understand yet, but you can't run nowhere near that stiffer spring. You know, you want more soft. We can get down and stay down, and it seemed like to me that you know, on these type of cars you want more. Your suspension does less than what it used to. It doesn't travel as much as it used to. I mean, it gets there, and then it's like a cushion on the rubbers.
I was traveling a lot. We traveled about 3.5 inches, but we got it set. So everything's perfect. When it's loaded, don't bottom out. I mean, you hate things from bottom the cross number out, but it takes a while to get all worked out. I mean,
Yeah.
especially like if I didn't run here locally, I'd have to come test Friday because it take you. I mean, it took us 2 or 3 hours to keep the car from dragging.
You guys don't write down what you're doing or anything. You got it all right there in your head, don't you?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, Carissa over here looks like she's going to sleep. Are we boring you with all this race talk, chassis stuff and whatnot? Anyone out there that wants to call in with any questions or comments or anything online, you're welcome to call in, and Carissa will see that we get all of the information over here. Anything that you would like Sterling, Marlin, and I to answer while we're on the air here. We've got probably about another 20 minutes, and we'll be glad to answer any questions or comments. We would appreciate you calling in with any comments or anything. Let's talk about what's going to happen August 26th here at the legendary Fairground Speedways. Over 500 laps of stock car racing at its best. But in addition to that, it's going to be another one of these $5 nights. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to get in for $5. Sorry, y'all. This is going to be college night. You're going to have a college ID. If you have a college ID and you have it on you, you can get in for $5. This is going to be $5 for college only. We're going to try to get the college students involved in our sport and coming out here to our facility, checking out what we're doing and everything. But in addition to it being college night, $5 if you're a college student, you must have your college ID. $10 general admission. Senior citizens and military, as always, are only $8. Kids 5 and under are free. Grandstand gates will open at 3. The first green flag will drop at 5 o'clock. Now, we've moved that up a little bit from what we have been doing that. Happy hour on our Clayton and James beverages over here at our party deck. Happy hour will start at 3:30, go to 4:30 on your favorite beverages and select food items right here on our party deck. We're going to have free bouncy houses, as always. We're going to have free Purity ice cream. We're going to have the money drop. We're going to have the flat screen TV, compliments of all the great people over here at Electronic Express. We're going to give a flat screen TV out every time we have a race. So be sure when you come in the gate, get your name and hat, go over to the table right there and fill out a little certificate to get in line to win your flat screen TV. They're really nice. I got one at home in my room, and I tell you, they're really nice flat screen TVs. So it doesn't cost you anything to fill out. You just walk up there and fill out a form, and your name will be in the hat. And at intermission, Miss Fairground Speedways herself will reach in the fish bowl and grab one of the little forms out, and you may be the lucky winner and take home a brand new flat screen TV. Compliments of the great people over at Electronic
Did the money
Express.
fall backwards the other night?
Yeah.
The money went this way.
Yeah, that was
I
I saw that. The way the money was blowing Saturday night, they were throwing the money off, and it was starting to come down, and it was picking it back up. The maintenance people had a bunch of money that they found, and the money was blowing back over the grandstands, up over the roof, and Vincent Madden was grabbing it and throwing it back off, and it was almost like he had to force it. I know he threw one bundle, and I think it was about a bundle of 100, and it was $101 bills, and he wrinkled it up and threw it down like a baseball, and it came down and landed right in some guy's hand. And I tell you what, he was the luckiest guy at the night. I hope he went and spent it at our concession stand. So August 26th will be college night once again. $5 general admission with your college ID. Once again, general admission is $10 if you don't have your college ID. If you do, it's $5. Senior citizen and military, as always, is $5. Kids and under, as always, are free. Grandstands will open at 3 p.m. Racing starts at 5 p.m. Happy hour from 3:30 to 4:30 right over here on our party deck. Free bouncy houses, free Purity ice cream. Compliments of the great people over at Purity Ice Cream. We'll have our money drop. Any information that you need as far as scheduling, lineups, point statistics, drivers information, numbers, scheduling, you look us up online at www.fairgroundspeedwaysnashville.com, and you can find anything you want to about the Speedway, the history, the sponsors and whatnot, our marketing partners, scheduling, points information, ticket pricing and information, as always. Or you can call the Speedway office during regular normal business hours, which are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, at 615-256-1986, 254-1986. I'm sorry, 254-1986. You can call us at our Speedway line, and if the line is busy, just call back or leave a message, and I promise you, one of our people on the administrative end of the Speedway will call you back. Otherwise, check us out online, once again, at fairgroundspeedwaysnashville.com. I want to run down our schedule. We got about 15 minutes left. We'll run down our schedule for the August 26th. 9 o'clock, ticket booth and pit gate opens. 9:30, 5/8 mile car tech starts. 10:30, mandatory 5/8 drivers meeting. No RVs, ATVs, and golf carts allowed in the quarter mile X. From 11:30 to 12:30, the quarter mile tech will open. First practice will start at straight up noon. We'll start with the super trucks from 12 to 12:15. Then we'll go to the pro late models from 12:15 to 12:30. Then we'll come right on back down every 15 minutes, and we'll do that. Then we'll go to the legends, the pure stocks, the sportsmen. Second practice will be done the same way. We'll start with the super trucks, and we'll go to the pro late model. We'll go to the pro mods, the legends, the front runners, super street, sportsmen, right on down the line. We'll take a lunch break at 1:45 to 2:05. We'll have our lunch break. The chapel service will start at 1:45 for anybody that wants to attend our chapel service with Pastor Joe Nim. He does a fine job, great guy, and check it out. Then we'll have our qualifying, our super truck tire release, and in qualifying order. And if you're not on time, you're only going to get one lap. That will start from 2:05 to 2:35, followed by the pro late model tire release from 2:35 to 3:05. You can get these schedules online at fairgroundspeedwaysnashville.com. All this is online, or you can stop by the Speedway office and pick one up if you don't have a computer, by the way. 2:30, mandatory quarter mile drivers meeting. 3 o'clock, the grandstands open. 3:10, qualifying begins. qualifying begins 2 laps for the Super Trucks and Pro Late Model, and then they will be impounded. The pre-race ceremony will begin at 4:45. First green flag will drop at 5 o'clock. Intermission will take place, and we'll do all of our giveaways and whatnot, and so forth and so on.
The impound?
Yeah, we're still going to do the impound for right now. And then, by the way, on August 25th, which is Friday, our practice day, our ticket booth will open at 3 o'clock. And the ticket booth opens and the pit gate opens at 3 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, practice begins. And we will go right on down to 7 o'clock. Tire burn closes at 7:30. 9 o'clock, the track closes, and everyone must be out. All right, let's see here, Sterling. We got some questions here. Will Sterling be racing next year at the Fairground Speedways? This is asked by Michael Bagley. Sterling, you going to race next year at the Fairground Speedways or what?
Probably will, still kicking.
You heard that, Michael.
I don't ride a race car.
Sterling said if they're selling tickets, and he'll be here. So I asked him a couple of years ago. I said, Sterling, I said, I'm glad to see Stedman starting to come around and everything. I take maybe that you might be getting ready to throw the towel in and quit. He said, man, I'm having the time of my life. I'm loving every minute of it. So I don't think that Sterling Marlin's even given it any thought of quitting, especially since he's won the last 2 out of 3. I don't feel like that he's even thinking about quitting. Is Sterling wearing his Daytona ring? Also from Michael.
Yeah.
Sterling, you wearing your Daytona 500 ring?
Daytona 500 ring.
Is that the 94 or the 95 ring?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
You don't know, huh? So he is wearing his Daytona 500 ring, and I think you gave the other one to your dad, did you not? Did you give one of them to Cuckoo? I know
I
he.
got him.
I know that.
One looked like Mr. T. No,
Oh, is that what it was?
I didn't
Okay.
I didn't wear that stuff.
Okay. Terry Newcomb asks, what happened at the meeting Tuesday about the fairgrounds? Are they taking anything away from us? Well, to answer that question, nothing really happened at the fairgrounds meeting, Terry. We had our board meeting, and of course the RFP was on the agenda, and they asked our executive director, Miss Laura Schultz, commented on that, and they said, they're still looking at some different things and whatnot, and I guess they're still trying to make their decision upon what they're going to do. But she did say that we will know something very soon. So believe me, there's no one that's any more anxious to know what's going to happen than me. You can just you folks can't imagine what I go through every day just wondering about this. And we got a lot of things on the burner right now for next year, and so we're just going to have to be patient and wait and see. I think we're in a really good shape. I think we're in a really good position to secure the long-term lease, and it may be worth waiting on. Jan Atwood asks, does Sterling have a flip phone?
Yeah.
Sterling, there it is. It's sitting right there, Jan.
He's
got a flip phone, and I got one too. But he does have a smartphone, but he likes his flip phone. We're kind of old school guys, and you folks are probably laughing about the flip phones. But I tell you what, if you got a smartphone and you're driving down the road, and I know you're not supposed to be on the phone when you're driving down the road, but we all do this, and you try to hit that little computer button and you hit a bump, you hit something and your phone goes haywire, you're liable to wind up in on eBay or somewhere, So the good thing about a flip phone is, especially if you got one that you can hold in the palm of your hand, you can hit that button pretty steadily, and they come out with all these phones. I just need a phone that I can talk on. I don't need a phone I can get on Facebook on and all that. So technology, but to answer your question, yes, Sterling's got a flip phone, Jan. There it is, right there, and it'll flip open and close just like that. So it looks like we got about 6 minutes left. If anyone's got any comments or questions or anything, you can call in and we'll answer that. Our next podcast show will be same time next Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I'm going to have Bobby Joe Rippey, which won his first quarter-mile race of 2017 season. On a short note, he was working out of town today laying carpet, and we couldn't get him here. That's probably was my fault because I waited too long to call him. Let's see. Do you guys like the silver bullet of the Kodak car better? Which one did you like better? Silver bullet. Silver bullet. Silver bullet was the Coors Light Silver Bullet, and
it was really a fun company.
It was a beautiful car. The paint scheme on it was really beautiful, and it matched the Coors beer can also too. You know, more of a chrome looking car. The Kodak car was a beautiful car. It's and I know Sterling had a lot of luck in the Kodak car, but he did really well in the silver bullet car too. So you know, race car to me is a race car to me. You know, they all look good no matter what they look like. My deal is they look good in victory lane when you get your picture took and you're getting the interview done. So you guys out there, do us a favor. Stop by the Speedway office if you get time. Pick you up a handful of these flyers. Now, we're going to be taking them around to all of our colleges, send them out to all the colleges. We're going to be taking some show cars to the colleges and talking to a lot of the college students about our sport and our legendary facility and whatnot. And every time I do that, I get a lot of interest. But we want to get the younger generation interested in what we are doing here. There's so much history here. You know, guys, this is the oldest speedway in America. The only one that had us beat was the Milwaukee Mile, and they are not active anymore. So we are the oldest speedway in America. And guys, stop by and grab you a handful of flyers if you would. Pass them out. Take them to your favorite market. Tell your friends to tell their friends. You can't beat this. This is the most affordable entertainment in this city. I guarantee you, you won't beat it. You won't find anything any cheaper. You can come here. You can catch 10 or 20 bucks falling out of the air. You can get a free ice cream. Sometimes you can get a free hot dog. You can go down and take the kids, let them occupy themselves in the bouncy houses. You can have a chance of winning a $500 flat screen TV. There's always great food at our concession stands. A lot of excitement. A lot of things we give away. It's the most affordable entertainment on this planet. I'm not comfortable saying right here in the city of Nashville, but I'm more comfortable saying on the planet Earth. So if anybody out there knows anything that can beat us, please call me and let me know about it. I want to know about it. This is the Common Convention Center here, the Nashville Fairgrounds. We have not only stock car racing here, we have flea markets here, we have 5K runs here, we have everything here. Check us out. Go to the Fairgrounds website and check us out. We've always got something going on here, but I guarantee you, we have the best stock car racing in America. Over 500 laps of action-packed stock car racing at its best right here at your own Fairgrounds Speedways. Guys and girls, come on by and pick up a handful of flyers. Take them to the favorite location with us. We need your support. We need your help. We need you to come by. And we need participants here to help support our legendary facility and our great sport right here. Let's see, how much horsepower did you gain from the exhaust you had on the Kodak Chevrolet? Now that's a good question right there, because I know that car had 180s that went under the oil pan, did it not?
I had an X pipe in it.
An X pipe.
Made like
It sounded like it had. It sounded like it had 180 degrees.
degrees.
You know, back in the days in the 70s, I think Banjo Matthews or somebody came out with the 180-degree headers that went under the dry sump pan.
Yeah, oil pan.
Yeah.
A real short oil pan.
So tell us about those headers that y'all had on that car.
They just
Car had a sound of the same.
standard headers, but they went out to X pipe, 2 and 1, and back out the side. And Runt called me about 2 days before. They told me, he said, hey, when you start that car up, it's gonna sound funny. Don't let it scare you. And I pulled it, started to think of the sound. Man, everybody was looking around. Everybody heard 180 headers, and it's like, man, everybody's looking at.
Who invented the exhaust?
A guy named Dr. Gas made 2 horsepower, and
That's all it made was 2 horsepower.
Everybody said, what the hell is all?
Yeah, they thought it sounded like an Indianapolis
Yeah,
Star. I
we
remember
don't want
that.
had a whole bunch of 95 and 96 probably has Phil had it,
Yeah.
but sick was out there.
Where did y'all have them covered at with that car, Stern? Was it just the handling, the
I
horsepower?
went on the chassis down, it wasn't. It was mid-pack.
Car just
but it
drove
drove so good. You just like a Daytona, the July race, you just hold it wide open, never lift, and just drive off on it. Had a
Well,
good handling car.
I never got to run Daytona, but I did practice him 2 or 3 times for Bobby Hamilton and Talladega, and you could hold it wide open at Talladega. But they said when you could get one where you could hold it wide open at Daytona, it was all
It was over.
It was all over. So, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and thank Sterling for coming out, taking the time to come out and share a podcast show with. Carissa, thank you for coming out and all your great work. You guys can see Carissa; she's always trackside doing interviews at Top 3. She's been a great access to the Speedway and to the podcast show. So I want to personally thank you while we're on the air. And we'll see you back here next Wednesday, 6 o'clock, same time. Y'all drive careful, buckle up those seatbelts. Thank you for watching. God bless.